Good morning everyone. I'm just popping in to show you Tracie Fox's latest kit. It's called Oddments. I will pop the link below because it's on Tracie's Etsy, and I just thought I'd show you it and show you a wee make I made. First of all, I'll show you the ephemera that she did. This wee lass here is where my inspiration for my make came from. I just thought she was absolutely adorable, and it reminded me of when the British were colonising India, Indian Tea Company, all those types of things. And I thought, right, I'm going to try and find some things from Darjeeling, from the area, and see if I can find the old pictures. So I've been looking for pictures that are in the public domain. LOC and the British Museum on Flickr have 2 or 3 each. There aren't many, but I did find some. Only warning I would say, if you're going on Flickr, be very, very careful, because a lot of the pictures on Flickr are pictures that people have taken. Like if you type in tea or coffee, you may get somebody's breakfast popping up. You know, you'll see a picture of their breakfast, but it's not the picture, it's the fact that that picture belongs to that person. There is a lovely piece on copyright on Tracie's, on her website, that I will link to this video. So please read it. Please try and understand the difference between the American copyright laws and the English copyright laws. Obviously in China they don't have our laws, and this is where some of the really big problems with some of the dearest friends that I have in the craft industry are having such a time at the moment, with them copying stamps, stencils, ideas, you know, anything that you produce, they are taking and producing. So it's quite a difficult thing, but we really want to keep all the people who are making our junk journals safe. We want you to be able to sell your journals if that's what you want to do, and not to be breaking the law. So please just go and read this very, very quickly. Now let's get on with her kit. There are some beautiful pieces of ephemera in this one. I'm just going to turn this round so you can see this wee lass's face. She's adorable, isn't she? Butter wouldn't melt. This envelope, can I say, if you are making this kit, print out 2. Put this one on card and keep it as a template. It is a fabulous wee template, and it will mean that if you want to make envelopes later on from any paper, anything that you've printed off, it's there. You just draw around it and cut it out. The other really, really useful template that I use a lot is this one. This particular pocket template has come from Tracie's kit just before this one, Peeled Paint, which I have an obsession about at the moment. If you take one of these templates and hold on to it, you'll never forget about it. It's just incredible to have this one. This one will fit your tags. Obviously make sure you fit it within, you know, the tags no wider than the width of the actual template. Brilliant template to have. So do make a template of this one. Yeah, let's go for this. These are incredible. They are absolutely amazing, and when you actually print out the kit, you'll be able to see properly the colouring. There's a lovely greeny colour on this one, and then you've got the sepia, and the green going through the two. It is amazing. It's one of those kits that can be done so much with because of the colouring. You're not being restricted. Sometimes if a kit's all in purple or in green, you are stuck with those colours and colours that go within that colour scheme. These are gorgeous. Alteration ticket and a layaway ticket. We can't get them over here in the UK. We're stuck there. Now let me show you the papers. There's a reason why this one's bent in the middle. These papers are so beautiful. Tracie has really, really outdone herself on these. I absolutely love them. I love the fact that she's put an English rose in there. I really do, bless her. And a violet. I love Parma violets. We actually have some growing quite a lot around here in Hoyk, all over the place. They're absolutely beautiful. These are just absolutely wonderful papers. Now, the wonderful thing about these papers is you can use them for your work and for pages, but also they're great for backing. You can back so much with these. You know, back your tags. You know, if you're making a wee notebook, stick a couple of these pages in. They're absolutely lovely, and if you write on them, you're still going to see what's underneath. They are just absolutely wonderful. The reason that page is bent is for a reason. I don't just play with paper just for the sake of playing with paper. I've made a file folder. It's my wee file folder, and I just wanted to say, if you're going to make a file folder, now I've got loads of these. You don't have to use a file folder. The reason I do is because I brought some on Amazon. They were absolutely as cheap as anything. They're on offer. I'll end up with 100. By all means, you use card. If you want to make a file folder like this, don't do measurements. You don't need to do measurements. Just wrap your... First of all, fold your paper in half. Pop it around your file folder. Glue it down. Cut it to size. Open this up, the piece that you've got. Pop your other piece, when that's flat, in there. Cut that to size, and that's your file folder. You don't need to measure. The whole idea of doing this is that we're having fun. We don't want to sit there for 3 hours with a roller, you know, a ruler and a pencil and trying to make things fit. It's boring. Anyway, I've tied this with a wee bit of sari silk. It's got a lovely tea colour to it. I was quite surprised when I found it. Now, my front pocket I made by just taking a piece of Tracie's paper, and I just cut it. I just cut it into, I think it was 8cm pieces, cut it across 3 8cm pieces, and then decided how tall I wanted to put them to fit it, you know, for things to fit in, and that's where I got my tags from. And I just backed it on a piece of card. I often print on 160 GSM card. I find that works really, really well. Or if you want it a bit thicker, then put it on a bit of the file folder that you've got left over. But this folder, what I'm doing here, is about Darjeeling. The wee lassie that I showed you before, she inspired me so much, and I decided to do a folder on Darjeeling tea. So inside my little folder, I have a lovely little map, and it says tea plant. It shows you where the tea plantations are, and I thought that was such a lovely thing to start off with in India, the tea plantations. So I've kept that, and I've popped that right in the very, very front in there. Right, inside, we'll start on this side first. These pockets, this pocket here, now this here is this one. As you can see, it's exactly the same size. You just fold your taggies down, your tabs down, and that's your pocket. That's what's on the front there. But this and the one this side are made from the Oddments, from cutting off here of the file folder. No measuring, I just covered them and popped them on. That was it. I like to sew round mine, but you don't have to. If you do decide to start sewing, which a lot of the lasses are starting at the moment in group, have some practice shots. When you're sewing on card, it's exactly the same as sewing on fabric, except there's no tooth for the feet underneath to hold on to when you're moving. You know, you have to move, the fabric moves along as you're sewing. And with card, there's nothing there for it to hold on to. So sometimes it will suddenly start to wander. So make sure you don't go too fast, and just keep an eye on it. If you use zigzag stitch, it is very, very forgiving. It means that if you go a bit wonky donkey, it doesn't matter. Nobody can see it. So try doing your zigzag stitches first. Don't worry about the straight stitches. Put them in later when you feel more confident. You don't need a special needle. You don't need special thread. You just use normal sewing thread and a normal needle. Now, this is one of the little cards I showed you just a little while ago in Tracie's kit. and I was looking on Google and I found some words associated with tea, so I've just typed them up, and then I sprayed the paper with tea, proper tea, and left them to dry, dried it out, and then I just distressed very slightly around the edges, and I thought it's made a lovely wee tag with all different types of tea on it. And that goes in there. In this side, here is a picture showing us of the tea arriving off the boats, and I thought that was just really, really lovely little thing to have in there. The other two pieces are Tracie's ephemera again, and then I made the envelope. Now when I made the envelope, I've popped one of the seals on the front. There's several lasses doing it nowadays, but I'd like to advise you on something that's going to save you a few pennies. Get the ones with the wick. Sorry, that bit's just fallen off. If you've got a wick, it's the same as burning a normal candle, and that's the way they used to do it anyway in the first place. And you just literally just twiddle it round slowly, dropping the ink onto the page until you then pop your stamp in. Leave it about 30 or 40 seconds. They say 20, but 30 or 40 is better because it then just falls off. And there you are. If you do it the other way, where you buy the ones that they do in the kits, which don't have a wick, but have a wee spoon, they're quite expensive. And then you need to buy the little holder. It's a little round holder like this with a hole in. The tea light goes in underneath, and you prop the spoon across to heat up the wax. I think it was originally made so you could put the wax beads in, but now they do the sticks. It is so expensive. Why pay all that extra money when you don't have to? I have seen on Amazon that there is a wax you can get now for doing the seals that you put in your glue gun. Now, I think it's a lovely idea, but if you're going to do that, make sure you have one of the savers. The glue gun that I've got, I bought from a dear friend of mine, Ruth, and it has like a plastic thing that you squirt the glue into, and it actually makes another glue stick, so you're not wasting what's there. The only other thing I would worry about was, does this stain anywhere in part of what you're using? You know, would you get a red stain? So when you're using clear glue, you know, is there red there? So you might be better off buying a separate glue gun. So again, it's money. Personally, I think you should just stick to the ones with the wick on. When I do mine, I've put the seal on, but then I use the Velcro. You know, can you see that? The little Velcro dot things. That way your seal's intact, people can see it. Inside here I've got lots of little bits of ephemera that I've cut out from Tracie, and at the back here I found this wee thing. I'm not sure if you can see her, but she's absolutely adorable, and she's making her cup of tea. Now I know this is Chinese and this is an Indian folder, but I just had to leave her in there because she was just so adorable. So she's an extra little something inside there. Just pop that back. Now on the other side, first of all I want to show you this one. This here is an elephant from Darjeeling, and this is carrying stuff around from there. And here we have the men carrying the tea on their backs. So I've managed to find some quite nice little little photos. These tags that Tracie did, you don't need anything. If you want to put a cluster on, great. But when you're doing file folders, remember you've got to think of the bulk. You've got to think, if you're going to pop this inside the middle of a journal, how much space is it going to take up? If you're making this as a standalone project, by all means, pop in more. So here I've got one of the women with this tea on her back here. And these are Tracie's again. And here's a few more words around tea that I found. Just stuff that back in there. And on the back we have a nice cup of brew in here. And this is the wee lass that started it all off, her wee little face. Another wee, this is Darjeeling. This is actually a lovely photo of Darjeeling that I managed to find, which I thought was lovely. So that's my little file folder, and I had so much fun doing it. As you can see, you don't need much. When you're doing junk journaling, think of the limits as possibles. There is so much possibility out there, and if you haven't got something, use something else. That was the whole idea of why junk journaling was set up in the first place, was to make use of junk. If you haven't got card, use a cereal packet, use a pizza box. It doesn't matter. The whole idea is that we have fun. I just want to thank Tracie and Andrea for the 2 amazing collaboration kits that they did. They were absolutely amazing. And the Fab Tag Challenge, wow. 30 days of making tags. I have not had so much fun for a long time. It was incredible, and I want to thank all the girls in both the groups for all the effort they put in for making these tags. A lot made it to the 100 quite quickly, like our lovely Jackie Chimes. She made it quite quick to the 100. I just kept going because Tracie wasn't around much, so I was watching the group and crafting at the same time. So I would prepare the night before what I was going to make the next day, and I was absolutely amazed when I added them all up to find I had 205 tags that I'd made. I am gifting them out. I am doing racks, and they are gradually going out to different people with the doilies. There's a lot of people who are wanting doilies at the moment, tiny doilies. Anybody who has a scan and cut, they are amazing because you can make really, really tiny little doilies. So I've made lots and lots of doilies, and I'm posting out little doilies all over the place. So before long, all the groups on junk journaling will have doilies in them. So that's the next thing. I will put up all the information underneath of Tracie's group, her blog, her Etsy group, her Etsy store, my Facebook. I am setting up an Etsy. It is already there. It is just a case of pricing things, starting to get things in there. And I will be doing a giveaway once I hit 250 subbies. And I'm not far off that now. So please subscribe if you've not already subscribed. And I will do the giveaway. I don't know whether it'll be this folder, but I'll probably do a folder. And I've got some stencils that I'd like to gift out to, because I'm actually in a stencil club from another friend of mine, and I do have some doubles, and I thought they would be amazing to gift them out. There's things like butterflies and flowers, things like that, and they are amazing in a junk journal. Thank you so much for supporting me. I've not done a video for about a year because I was volunteering that much. I didn't have 5 minutes to think. And I've been overwhelmed. I really am. I'm over the moon to be part of Tracie's design team, and I just adore you all. Thank you for watching. Bye.